Hey guys, how's it going? Jay Sensational here. Welcome back to the channel. By the time this video is live, I will be streaming my seasonals run over on twitch.tv slash J3N3ational. Link down below in the link down below in the comment or description. And I just want to quickly run through the lineup as to what I'm expecting and what I am planning on doing with the lineup as per usual. My three decks that I am going in, I have double top roll, Fission Kicks, and Barma. And so we have Fiora Pantheon, Nami Lee, as well as Victor Karma. And this is going to be the three decks that I'm bringing to the Seasonals Open round. My strategy for this time around is I want to be good into Swain, and I want to be fine into Fiora Pantheon, which I have a mirror and then two Ionia decks. So let's quickly scrolling through the decks. This Fiora Pantheon is pretty much stock. Very common, like the 3 of Guiding and Pale, the 1 of Chain Vest, things like that. The only spicy thing I have is 1 of Riposte. This is more of a mirror tech than anything else. I cut 1 of the Ayulas for it. Might change it back, might cut like a Pale Cascade instead, because Ayula with like Overwhelm on like the Harazi is like really insane, and just like replaying Spell Shield overall is like really good. So I might actually, you know what? Heck with it. We're cutting 1 draw, which is a little bit scary. Wait, I cut the wrong card. Okay. You guys are gonna see this live. But that's that. Nami Lee, again, very stock. I have like 1 Palm, 1 Will in here. That's like the really main difference. 2 Double Troubles and a Heavy Metal. But otherwise, I am playing Nami with my Lee. I'm not splitting them because I'm playing Victor Karma instead as my third deck. I'm not playing Akshan Lee Sin like a certain streamer you might know is, but just a very stock list. Bring the best deck. Relatively comfortable with it, so even if it is left up, I do feel pretty okay with it. And then finally, we have my personal favorite. We have the Victor Karma Barkeep. This has seen quite a few changes. With some interesting cards in collaboration with both What Am I as well as Kever. I and I guess Kever have come to a similar sort of list where we have a few more interesting cards. We have Eye of the Dragon as a 1 of, 2 Pharaoh's Financiers, and Aloof Travelers, which is kind of like a no-brainer. I just somehow forgot you could run this card in this deck. So now there are 2 Aloof Travelers in the deck. As well as 2 copies of Pharaoh's Financiers and 1 copy of Eye of the Dragon. The cards that I have replaced them, I have cut the Deep Med, and I've cut the 2 the Tasty Feyfolk. And I believe there should be, let's see, the Deep Med, the 2 Tasties, and then there's 2 other cards that I cut that I'm blanking on for some reason, or maybe I didn't. Either way, I'm blanking on it, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, these 3 decks are here to beat up on some Swain players. Just quickly going through I guess the ladder stats over the last few days, and this ideally is a good indicator of what is leading up to the seasonals. So we have Fiora Pantheon. Of course, Nami Lee, Annie Jin actually popping up quite, I guess this last 2 days. So let's just do last 7 days. We can check last 2 days as well, but Fiora Pantheon, Swain TF, Nami Lee Sin, and then we have another Swain deck here, Karma Yi. I guess we do okay into the Fiora list is a little bit suspect into it, which is like the slight awkwardness, because Fiora into any of the Ionia decks is a little bit awkward. But overall, it's also just good into Swain. It's decent. It's like the mirror here, so it's like fine. Poppy Tarek, and then, Swain. So I am expecting a decent amount of Swain, even though I think in the last 2 days, Swain has mostly dropped off. Now it's 6 and 7, whereas in the last 7 days, it was like 3 and 5 or something like that. So I definitely think that there is going to be more of the Swains than I think the last 2 days are representative, or at least hopefully the last week is trending, which is kind of where my lineup is at. My fear is that the trend will remain and people are just going to be off of Swain. But with this seasonal, Swain I think is mostly just a comfort pick for a lot of people. and things like that. I think one thing to note is Yasuo Katarina is surprisingly hot right now because it does quite well into Fiora Pantheon, and it does beat Nami Lee and Octron Lee Sin. It just loses to Annie Jin and the Nora Swain. So like Noxus aggro as well as the Yasuo Katarina, which is sort of an aggressive deck, are popping up to kind of counter the Ionia stuff. I think in the open rounds this isn't really going to be much of an issue. Maybe Annie Jin just because it's a little bit more popular amongst more players than like Yasuo Katarina is. So I don't really expect this like to come up too much. Ideally, I'm just playing into like the Octron Lee Sin players, like the Swain players, the Fiora Pantheon players, things like that. So yeah, so that's sort of where the lineup's at. I want to be fine into control decks, which obviously I'm running 2 Ionia decks, and then the Fiora Pantheon, which is actually pretty decent even into like things like Heimer Jace, just because of your threat density. You have the 3 Pantheons, you have like Saga Seekers at scale, you have like the Harazi and things like that. So that's kind of where this is at. I have been on the fence of Yasuo Katarina. The semi issue with Yasuo Katarina is it's a lineup that wants to leave up the Nami Ionia deck up, and right now this lineup is planning on banning that deck. So unless I wanted to change my ban strategy, which honestly, if I went with these 3 decks instead of the Fiora Pantheon list, like I swapped Yasuo for Fiora Pantheon, I could play this lineup into Nami and feel relatively okay, and then this shores up my Ionia weakness by just playing Ionia mirrors all day. So it's a little bit interesting if we want to make the jump. But like the issue is if I bring this and I face into Swain, then it's really awkward because I'd have to ban Swain. So I think for the purposes of the open rounds, I'm not gonna change my mind right now. I will not change my mind 1 a.m. the day of. So because I am expecting Swain to be a little bit more popular, so I'm not going to touch this. If I make top cut, I will bring this over this and just run these 3 decks, I think, and see how it goes. But that might be different. But otherwise, right now, these are the 3 decks I'm bringing: Swain and Ionia and other things I'm expecting. I'm going to be banning the Nami Ionia list and feel okay playing into Octron Lee Sin and Crush Swain. Poppy Terror's a little bit throw up. I should be good here. I should be good here. And yeah, that's sort of the game plan for tomorrow, or I guess today, or I guess right now, because you guys are watching it and the stream's live. So feel free to stop on by the Twitch channel if you want to guys cheer on me. I do need a 8-1 to make top cut, and I do need a top 8 to make worlds. So this is kind of it in terms of if I want to like do well and go on to the big stages. So I could use some support. I'll catch you guys there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.